Kia ora tātou, tēnā tātou katoa. Members, when we broke for the dinner break, we were debating the Environment Canterbury Democracy Restoration Amendment Bill. Jan Logie was speaking. She has a whole 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jan Logie.
And before we rose for dinner, I was talking about the government member prior to me talking about the government being thrown out the baby, and I do think it was an interesting concept, particularly, you know, when you think of cradles of civilization and how Greece is often talked about as one of the cradles of civilization, and as well as the some of the supporters of democracy, that it does seem apt in this situation that the government has thrown the baby out of the cradle. So this bill, the Greens are very happy to be supporting because we really believe in local democracy. And we heard from another previous national speaker who was saying he's absolutely an advocate for democracy, and then went on in his speech to sing the praises of how much better the politically appointed commissioners were than those who were democratically elected. Does seem to me you can't really have it both ways. And we've also heard from previous speakers that the model that's in the compromise of democracy, which we've been told is still democracy, it's a transition, it's being returned to the people, even though the Law Society described this as a loss of local democracy. But, you know, don't worry about the law, don't worry about our constitutional arrangements, keep on holding on to that truth, post-truth reality that you seem to have. We've also heard from speakers that the reason that we need this abrogated democracy is because we need to protect the freshwater management in Canterbury. Yet, exactly what we've seen in Canterbury, and the people in Canterbury have seen so vividly, is an absolute loss of environmental integrity in our waterways in Canterbury. That in the time that those commissioners have been in place, the proportions of rivers in Canterbury that are swimmable have gone from 74% of them that were swimmable in 2010 to only 64% of them now. 10% in that time. And these are the people who have been brought in overriding local democracy to supposedly improve freshwater management. You've got to wonder what their concept of management really is if they think that is success. And then we heard that, well, actually this is about the relationship with Ngāi Tahu and securing their voice in the local government process. And that is something that the Greens absolutely support. And we are very pleased that the member whose bill this is keen to have that discussion in select committee. But I would challenge that the government members, that if they really were keen on that, then go around the country and talk to every single iwi and ask them how happy they are with the performance and their relationships with their local government partners. And you will find that if that is your rationale for putting in commissioners, then there is a need for a whole lot more commissioners. And actually for the government, you should be making changes to your local electoral act and removing the blatantly racist provisions in there that require a referenda for the provision of Māori seats, whereas there's no requirement for referenda for any other local electoral amendment. So if you're saying that iwi representation is important for you, then this bill does not stack up against your other actions. But ultimately, this bill is about restoring the voice of the local people in Canterbury. And that they managed to get to the elections and they elected people that supported freshwater management. And now we want that area to have 12 elected people, not 6. We want the government to relinquish control and its agenda of irrigation and pollution. The hybrid model was not supported by the people of the area. Of the submissions last time when that model was brought in, there were about over 1,000 and only 15 supported that. There is no way you can say your model, the government's model, is wanted.